All right, guys, how you doing? My name is Rich Guzman.
And my name is Ace Guzman.
Welcome to another live. Oh my God, it's already a week.
It's Friday.
Already another week, guys.
Friday.
Has gone by.
Yes.
Super excited. Mother's Day is coming up soon, guys. So don't forget about your mommies. But anyways, I want to thank you so much for being here. Really excited about tonight's live. I know you are too.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for being here
Yes,
too.
thank you.
So full of gratitude today. Such a good day. Now, what I want to talk about tonight is, guys, we talk about like visualization before. We talk about like how to really visualize in a way that you could attract, pretty much anything that you want, including in your business and things like that. But really, it's all about visualizing the type of freedom that you can have in your life. And of course, freedom means a lot of different things for a lot of people. But before we get into that, guys, let's find out who's on the live with us right now. I know we have people waiting for us. They're like, hey, where's Ace and Rich? We're here. We're definitely here.
Yes, definitely here. So we have Frances here. She sees us. Awesome. And I see other people are trying to get us through the Internet Marketing Pro. So let me make sure that they can actually see this live.
Yes. Hello, Frances. Nice
Share
to see you.
this live, guys, on your timelines and in your groups. Definitely give people the benefit of the doubt of what you're really into and why do you watch Ace and Rich anyway?
Yes. Super excited. Life is good. Things are going great. Oh my God. Yes. So pumped up. So pumped. I'm going to talk about why I'm pumped up, in today's live, but, I still want to go over the content. So.
And Frances says, thank you both for being here. Thank you for
thank you.
watching.
Thank you,
Yes,
Frances.
and tuning in. All right.
We appreciate you too.
Absolutely.
So guys, vision of freedom, no boss, no limits.
I love this.
We're going to get into it, and I'm super excited about this.
Yes.
So again, I want to thank you for being here with Ace and Rich Live, and let's get started with the content. Now let's talk about visualization. Okay, I want you to picture affiliate marketing. All right, and creating time and freedom for yourself. Now, what does that look like when you really think about that? Right? That's the important visualization is like, what does it look like? Right? So you got to picture, yourself with affiliate marketing, having that time, having that freedom, but more importantly, that income freedom, okay? Because without the income, we can't have the freedom, right? So
Now, this is something I struggled with in the past because I couldn't even do anything with visualization.
I remember you didn't understand it.
I didn't understand
and,
it. I'm like, what do you mean visualize? What are you talking about? Look in the mirror? I
Well-
didn't know what you were talking about.
Look in the mirror. No. This is all about visualizing things in a way that it goes far beyond just visualizing something in your mind.
See, when Rich explains it, then you'll get it. When
It's
other
more-
people try to explain it to me, I couldn't get it.
It's more like how you could actually almost like see it in a way that it looks so real in your mind, okay? And I've learned to do this many, many years ago, and today I still do it too, right? And it works.
Yeah.
It really, really works.
Yes, definitely.
But the reason why it works because you have to feel the visualization when you're creating that visualization for what you're looking for with time and freedom in your business, right? That income freedom that everybody's looking for. People can say they want it, but they don't know what it feels like, and that's the challenge, right? So how can you connect to it if you never made it?
Right.
So if you never made it,
Right.
the challenge is like really feeling like you made it even though you didn't make it. But the better you get at actually using your imagination that you do have it, the closer you are to getting it happening for real. And that's really really weird to say, but it's really true. But again, the challenge lies if you never made it. And I'll give you an example. I don't want to just make it very vague, but I'll give you a really good example. So let's say you never made $10,000 in a month, in 30 days with your business, okay? Now, the goal is for you to visualize that you've made $10,000 in a 30-day calendar month. Now, here's the part that you really got to work at. You have to visualize you creating that, but also how do you feel? How do you feel, right, in the moment as you're visualizing what it feels to earn that $10,000 in a 30-day calendar month, right? Because some people can say, okay, I'm going to do the visualization stuff and just close my eyes and like I'm making $10,000, I'm making $10,000, I'm making $10,000. And it doesn't really work that way.
No.
And this is where people actually
No.
get tripped up.
Yes.
It doesn't work that way. You got to really get emotional. You
Yes.
got to really go into that deep state and really look at what it truly feels like. And if you don't know, you have to start with saying, what will my life look like earning my first $10,000 in a 30-day calendar month? What would it look like? What would I do? Where would I go?
Yes.
Who would I want to be with? Would it be with my family, my friends, whatever it is? You have to visualize that, and you have to make it to like a TV screen, like it becomes so real that you could almost literally see it, taste it,
And hold it in your hand.
and more importantly,
Yeah.
feel it.
Feel it, hold it in your
Because,
hand.
man, I'm telling you, the more you practice this, the more you keep doing this, the more you're going to start understanding how this truly works. Because the reality is, your brain, when you really get good at this, your brain does not know the difference. Okay? It does not. All right? So if you just go into it like real vague and you're not really into it, you're like, this
Right,
stuff doesn't
right.
work. Right? Trust me, it works.
Now, I want to talk about a little bit about being brand new, right? Let's say you're a total newbie, and I'm going to share from my experience what it was like to do this visualization exercise because, you know, a lot of the people that we coach, we do this actually in the first phase with them. We do a lot of things with the mindset. Some people, you know, they struggle with this. So I'm going to give you some pointers about why visualization will help beginners, okay? Newbies, people getting started as entrepreneurs. Because the thing is, it helps you put you in a state of being, and your state of mind for success prepares you. All right, brand new, or whether you don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of success, you're just getting started. Maybe there's things happening in your life that's keeping you in a negative state of mind. You've got to shift. Okay, and this is what is necessary. You know, has to be done is you have to shift. I was in a negative state of mind because I was surrounded by a lot of pessimism. And I say pessimism because there was a lot of pessimistic people. I mean, let me know in the chat if you actually gone through that. You're around family members, friends, colleagues, coworkers, people who actually you've hung out with in high school. You know, they're very pessimistic. And so what happens is you're surrounded by all these people. So how can you visualize success if you're surrounded by negative nitties, right? So now at this point,
Or crabs in the bucket.
yeah, crabs in a bucket, right? So now what happens with being a beginner is you start with the state of being, which is your location. Look at your environment, right? If your environment is chaotic, like mine was, family of 5, 2 dogs, yeah, that's crazy. Living with my parents, I had to get out of that element and go somewhere, right? Go to your quiet place, go to the place that you don't have any distractions if possible. I say if possible. What I did was I went to my bedroom, okay? And I would actually do this type of exercise and, you know, and Rich would know because Rich lived with me and we were able to do this together because he was guiding me and he saw how hard it was for me to do this. He's like, no wonder you're struggling in your business because you have too much distractions. You know, the dog's barking, the phone's ringing, your mother's yelling from upstairs to go get the remote when she could come downstairs, get the remote anyway. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are going on. So he taught me how to tune them out. And I would actually imagine the location. So he would say, honey, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine you're on a beach. Now, mind you, at that time, when I was broke, living on welfare and food stamps and things like that, I did not have the mindset to go, oh, I'm on the beach, because I'd never been to the beach.
Again, you struggled because you know
Yeah.
you never been to the beach.
I've never been to the beach.
You've never, well, you hardly ever traveled.
Ever traveled.
You know what I mean?
This is true, okay?
And,
Don't laugh, don't judge me. It's just how it is. I was like in the house all the time, you know, with my parents.
Yeah, yeah.
and I never
you
really traveled
And you
anywhere.
guys didn't really grow up, you know, a lot of money and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You didn't have money at all.
The only place I've been to was Backard.
Yeah,
You know what
backyard.
backyard?
now you did fly, you know, with your family.
Yeah,
to
but I
San-
was a
you know, to
kid.
Fri-
I was like
to-
9.
to Frisco. But
San
that doesn't
Francisco.
count. Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't
Frisco.
count. Yeah.
San Francisco. But,
So, and then you also went to one trip, I remember in Florida. Boy, that was a trip. You had.
but I was a much older,
Right,
you know,
right.
state of being at that point.
But after that, you never
Yeah.
really went anywhere.
No,
Yeah.
not really. Not till I became successful, and then I started to.
So, but
Yeah.
that would be the reason why is because you never really had, you know, that opportunity.
True. Yeah.
So therefore, it's hard to visualize
It was very hard.
something that
Yes.
doesn't exist yet.
Right.
Right? So when you visualize something that doesn't exist yet, that is a challenge. But the more that you practice it, the more that you really focus
It
on
inspires possibility.
it inspires possibility.
It inspires possibility.
Yeah.
And the second thing that it does is it builds your confidence.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I used to get, people saying to me is, how do you become so confident? You know, I'm looking for that confidence in myself. And you got to see yourself as a success. You got to see yourself as succeeding. What is the future you, right? That's what we say, the future you, yourself, succeeding, you know, with the ranks in your company, or, you know, leveling up, right, in your leaderboard. Like, do you see that success? Do you see yourself being printed in a magazine? I know a lot of network marketing companies do this.
Right.
They feature you in a magazine or in their, you know, their emails or their blog posts or things like that, and they talk about your success story and your results. Can you see that? Can you visually see people talking about you? Can you see your leaders, you know, talking you up, celebrating your results, celebrating your success? That will build your confidence, right? It's not so much of, oh, when I make the money, I'm going to build my confidence. No, you got to do that before that happens. Okay, write that down. You got to do that before it happens. You can't just go, oh, when I make the money, I'm going to be confident, I'm going to be successful. And no, you got to do that now when your ass is broke. And
No,
you don't have
no,
anything.
that's-
You
that-
got
that's
to do
a
it
very-
now. You got to act as if. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point there, because it again, that's where the disconnect is, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult
Yes.
to visualize that. But here's the thing about visualization. Visualization also happens on autopilot as well, without you not even realizing it. You ever notice when people join, and this could be you, you join a program, and all of a sudden, things don't go your way, okay? And company's fine, everything's going great, but it's not going great for you.
Right.
And you got to ask yourself, why is that? It's because it's very easy to focus on what doesn't work. And then what happens is your subconscious mind starts playing its own TV without you even recognizing it.
Great point.
And then all of a sudden, it focuses on that more
Yes.
than the actual positive side of what if, right? Let's really talk about those two words, what if. Because if it's happening on autopilot, you're not recognizing it unless you're consciously aware, okay? By practicing these positive visualizations. Because if you did practice that, you would notice the difference. Because people go through life a lot on autopilot, just like the Matrix, okay? We talk about the Matrix being unplugged.
Love that
people
movie.
People are plugged in
Yes.
all the time, living their lives on autopilot, and they don't realize that they're not really in control, all right? And the way that you can get in control is just pause for a second and say, you know what? I need to have some time for myself,
Yeah.
right? And let's work on this, right? Visualize promoting a product. Let's say you have a product, okay? And you see this product and it creates a flexible lifestyle for you, all right? And I'll give you an example, right? We're promoting a great product that has AI, a hybrid approach
Right.
when it comes to building a business. Now, what does that allow us to do? That allows us to free up our time, okay? Yeah, we have a lifestyle freedom, but we are actually always closing sales.
Right.
And that's also time. So now what we've been doing lately is we're utilizing this actual great new technology with this business that does a hybrid approach where the owner, also the company, closes sales for you. So not only do you get AI for the text messaging, you get AI for the follow-up, and you also get AI actually leaving messages now too, right?
Yes.
And now we have human bodies calling our buyers, our prospects, to close sales. How awesome is that, right? And just recently, we just closed another sale, and it was a high ticket, right? It was great, right? But the reality is, I'm sharing this with you because I already knew it was possible, right? She knew it was possible because we visualized it. We said, oh, wow, got this great new product. And now you mean to tell me that AI is going to follow up for me? It's going to do text messaging, it's going to do phone calls, voice drops, and you mean to tell me that people are going to actually call and close deals for us? What would that look like? What would that feel like? Right? So we started thinking about that. We're like, oh, let's just do some visualization.
Yes,
Let's-
yes.
Oh my God, we can go to the beach and people are closing sales for us? Like, this is so cool. This is awesome.
I was like, do
right?
you guys ever work?
So again, do you
Yeah.
see the excitement? Do you
Right.
see the positiveness?
Yes.
Right? It's positive. It's not negative. It's more like, what if?
Right.
What if I'm by the beach and I just closed a $1,000 sale, and I wasn't part of that?
Right. Right.
Okay, let me ask you that. What would that feel like for you right now? Like you would be at work right now because you're just starting out in business, you're brand new, and you're at work, and all of a sudden you get an email. You get out of work, you got your email, you're like, you just made a $1,000 commission. What would that feel like? Can you visualize that before even making it? If you get really good at visualizing the emotional state that you have, why not having it yet is the point that you're going to have it before you even know it.
Yes.
Because your brain, again, doesn't know the difference. So therefore, you're going to be taking those actionable steps
Right.
that you need to do to get those results.
Absolutely.
Because your brain will be just moving you right along,
Right.
right? Because of what you're thinking about.
Now,
Right.
I want to piggyback off of that
Yeah.
because it has a lot to do with your belief system, right? We talk about this a lot with our students. We talk about letting go of any limiting beliefs about yourself, about your offers, about the system, about the process. You have to let go of all of that. So when you actually start visualizing, you got to come from a place of, okay, I'm emptying my cup. I'm letting this go. So now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start fresh, and I'm going to choose one product that I can absolutely believe in, that I know that if I were to talk about it and I love it that much and I'm passionate about it and I totally 100% believe in it, even if I wasn't getting paid, I'll still sell it. That's the way you got to think. So if you love a product so much, think about all the products in your product line. Look at your company and look at the program that you're part of, affiliated with, or a partner of. Are you really passionate about at least one of them? Like, what really gets you motivated? What really gets you inspired? What gets you go, I got to get this shit in everybody's hands because this is good. Like, it's like that. You know what I mean? And if you're not feeling that, you got to take a step back. And you better find one that does, because you cannot sell anything you don't 100% believe in. That's a big start. When Rich and I started back in 2016, there was an absolute essential part of our business is to believe in what we were selling. Because if we didn't know much about it, it didn't matter whether the facts or the figures or the conversions worked. What mattered the most was, do we believe in it? Everybody give me a fire emoji right now. Fire emoji.
That's right.
That's it. You
Yeah.
got to believe in what you're selling, because people are going to buy you. They're not going to buy the product. They're not going to buy the service. They could care less about memberships and saving and discount stores and restaurants and things like that and travel. None of that stuff is valuable to them. What they care about is it solving a problem? Boom. All right? Fist
That's
bump?
huge.
Fist bump?
That's
Hello?
huge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? That's what you got to think about. Because a lot of this stuff that's going on, a lot of people are not having results and success with visualization because they're not believing in what they sell. Okay? And the second thing you got to do is, as you're visualizing and you pick the product, now you got to pick a couple of minutes, maybe about 5, and do this daily and start dreaming about the results. Start dreaming about what freedom really looks like. What's it going to look like with this product getting in the hands of all of the happy customers and all the happy buyers? What's it like, and what's it going to reflect on you? Right? Because an unhappy customer is not going to do anything for you. All right? A happy customer, you got a lifetime customer value from one. And more will come, because good news travels just as fast as bad news. Hello?
Yes, it
So
does.
you need to think about that. And then the other thing is the picture. You know, our minds think in pictures, right? Bob Proctor said this. Didn't he say that one time?
That's the powerful point of visualization.
It's using your mind's eye and picturing and seeing in photographs. We used to do this when we were kids.
Well, I
And we
think
had
what
this
is-
power of visualization when we were
Yeah,
children, but then when we
yeah.
became adults and we had all these damn responsibilities, all of a sudden we just forgot what it was like to do that.
Remember I don't know if you remember, but when I was a kid, I remember laying on the ground in the grass in a field and looking up to the sky.
Yeah.
And looking at the clouds and saying, hey, that looks like some kind of animal. Or
Yeah, it looks
that
like
an
an
elephant,
alligator or a
yeah,
pig.
or a
or
dragon,
a sheep.
right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Our imagination is so powerful
It was
when
so
we
vivid.
know, right, when we know how to use it. And you're right, we lose that as
Yes.
we become adults.
Yes, and you gotta picture.
Gotta get it back.
You gotta picture, what your ideal website's gonna look like if you're building a blog. What does the article look like? What about an email? Maybe you're building a campaign. You want to know what the visualization of the email campaign is gonna look like. Maybe you're running a webinar.
Again, like I said
What is that
earlier,
gonna look like?
Like I said earlier, your
Yeah.
freedom life. What does your freedom life look like? Visualize it, right?
Yes.
Close your eyes and
Yes.
look at it. And then once you see it in your mind's eye, once you see it, hold on to it, and then connect to your emotional state. And see what kind of emotions. I've done this with a lot of people, and some people have cried.
I was gonna get to
Because-
that. I was
yeah.
gonna do. You're thinking the same, dude. We're on the same wave here.
Yeah,
All right.
Here's
Here's the thing, right? We can't do it right now, but if we were allowed to play music, we would play a song that literally maybe some of you would probably connect with the song, and you would close your eyes and you would feel it, and some of you guys might drop into tears. This is something we did at a workshop. Some of you might cry, some of you might not, and just be excited and dance and wave your hands and be like, heck yeah, that's it, right? What was the name of the song?
It's Callaway.
By Callaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
it?
I want money.
Lots and lots of money. I want the pie in the sky. We played that music every single time we were getting ready to do a webinar, and people would just get into it, but then there would be the few that have some limiting
And
beliefs,
millennials, you know that song? That was in the 80s.
and they will cry. But why would they cry?
Because it's a pain from the past of the relationship with money.
I didn't say it, he said it.
Yep, that's what it is.
Guys, drop a fire emoji. Is this really hitting you? Is this really resonating with you? Let me know in the chat, okay? Because we have to talk about this stuff. This stuff is rarely even talked about because everybody's so focused on the money, the money, the money. But wait a minute, what about what it takes before you get to the money?
So let's talk about creating content,
Yeah.
all right? We've coached a lot of people, and there's some people that we've coached that have never really taken action, right? Like we would say, hey, go out and create content, and they've never created content. So what I say to you, if you're afraid to create content, start with the visualization first, okay? Just take a few minutes a day, not even 5 minutes, that's all it takes, guys,
Yes.
okay? And see yourself creating content. And I don't want you to visualize yourself in a huge audience looking at you, right?
No.
That'll instill fear. And plus, it's not realistic, it won't happen.
No.
What I want you to visualize is just one person looking at you and smiling as you're creating that content in your mind's eye.
Yes.
How are you making them feel, right? Those are things you really should be focusing on in your mind's eye when you're visualizing yourself creating content,
Yeah.
right? And then from there, again, that will give you the confidence to go out there and start creating your first piece of content.
Now, we always talk about the 3 pillars of success. We're going to repeat it one more time. It's BES. Who is it? Your best friend. B for build, E for engage, and S for sell. Now, let's talk about building up your audience, right, with visualization. When it comes to visualizing, you want to make sure that you imagine. I use the key word imagine, okay? So not the letter E, the letter I. Imagine your audience, okay? Picture people, your audience, your following, excited about your posts, excited about what you're talking about because you're passionate about the product so they can see it right through your content, right? And then when it comes to the engagement, you want to visualize the engagement. See people commenting, liking, sharing your post. Imagine seeing that and visualize. Hold on, and visualize.
I got a story that's related to that.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our product, right? AI. So we're using David AI, and we're the only company that has it. And we imagine that, we see David AI calling, texting our prospects for us, closing our high-ticket sales.
While we're at the beach with Anu.
While we're spending time with our son,
Yep.
right? You can do the same. You could do the same. You could visualize seeing, AI doing things for you. If you're using ChatGPT, you could see AI doing it that way. You want to take it a step up and take away from the whole prompting with just words. We have a voice AI that actually is, a male that actually does all the talking and the selling and the closing for you and explanation. Where do you come in? Drive the traffic.
wait a minute, no, that's being solved too.
Yep, drive the traffic, right? AI
Total-
traffic.
total freedom
so
business.
we have everything there. And then once you start seeing that, imagine the followers and your audience trusting your recommendations. Like literally, they're like saying, wow, you know what? I'm not buying that product because I know the product's good. I'm buying it because you are using it. Did you get that? Another fire emoji.
And here's the thing, you know, we are using it.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about here is what we're exactly doing ourselves.
Yeah.
And if it didn't work, it wouldn't be working. We wouldn't
No.
be making any sales.
That's right.
So it does work, and it works for people who already have a business
Absolutely.
and people who don't have a business.
Exactly, exactly. So, and then you want to think about, you know, how does the support look like? Visualize how you have, you know, your upline or your sponsor support. Visualize how they're coming in and they see you doing some work and they're like, you know what, they're going to start spending some time with you now. They're going to start helping you out. And I say this very, very importantly, guys. Uplines don't just go after people. Your people who invited you, the people who referred you, they spend time with you if you're doing the visualization. They see you working, they see you pulling your weight. Okay? So you need to picture this and say, wow, what if not just the AI I'm relying on, but also the support that I'm getting is invaluable. Invaluable support. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what's
And
going to help you too.
Now, you mentioned something earlier that reminded me. I remember when I first got started, you know, I was a little flustered, a little frustrated because you know, I was trying to create content, and I just couldn't generate leads at all for the life of me. I don't know what was going on, and I would watch all these marketers just generate leads hand over fist, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I generate a lead?
You thought you were broken?
So yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I read a book, and it came from the most oddest places too, in the bathroom. There's somebody I was living with before, and she had Wallace D. Wattles' Science of Getting Rich. And I opened up the book, right, and I was reading it, and it talked about visualization, and it talked about like the metaphysical, how powerful that it is. And so what I did was every night before I went to bed, I would close my eyes and I would imagine that I had all these leads coming into my business and I didn't even know what to do with them. And the first night it wasn't real. It felt kind of weird, right? Because I was like,
Oh, I'm sure.
I was like, yeah, right. Come on, man. You ain't got no leads. You're probably gonna get no leads. You know what I mean? So, and then the second day, I kept repeating that process over and over and over. And then I started believing it more and more every day. And then all of a sudden, not even 2 weeks later, by doing this nonstop, guys, just every single night before I went to bed, I saw my first lead pop up. I was like, whoa, that's like a sprout, right? Oh my God, I got a lead. And I was so excited for that one lead. And then what happened was amazing. People were contacting me from YouTube. I started building relationships. I started closing sales. And I started building my business for the first time when I first got started. And I learned, I'm like, wow, I think I was beating myself up a little too much in the very beginning. I realized that I had to learn what to do and let the compound effect kick in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then start to see things take shape. And it was just amazing because it was my own belief that was holding me back in the very beginning. And just by practicing that every single day, that's all it took. So that's what I'm saying. No matter what you're struggling with right now, visualize the opposite of that struggle.
Right.
Okay? And just start believing in it.
Now we're going to have a little bit of fun, okay? Everybody want to have some fun? We love having fun. Let's do some fun, okay?
Fun.
I want you to close your eyes for just a few minutes, and I want you to picture right now, no matter what program or company you're in, imagine of having access to artificial intelligence following up with every single prospect. Just think about that for a minute. Keep your eyes closed.
Just
I want
imagine.
you to hold that. I want you to hold that thought. You see it? Okay. Now, I want you to see in your mind's eye the owner of the company closing $1,500 sales for you right now. If you feel relief from what I said, I want you to drop a $1,000 right now in the comments. And those of you that are struggling right now, hold on to that thought. It's okay. Not everybody is going to get it, but that's okay. It just means you need a little bit more work. And that's where we come in. We come in to help you with this because you need a little bit more of counseling. You need more coaching. And that is where we were going to invite you after tonight's show to have a call with us. Those of you that are struggling with that visualization exercise, and like I said, if you can't see it, if you can't feel it, you can't touch it, you're still struggling, you need a little bit more help, you need coaching. And that's where we come in. And I want you to click the link below in the comments. Rich is going to post it there, and you're going to book a quick call with us so we can have a chat about how to help you change your life with affiliate marketing.
Absolutely. And it's very powerful too when you actually have someone help you, guide you.
You can open your eyes
and,
now.
I
I forgot to tell them that. I remember when we did the meditation, and I forgot to open my eyes. I was waiting for the guru to go, open your eyes. And I'm still like,
Yeah,
I'm gone.
You could open your eyes.
I checked
now.
out for a minute there. Went to another world.
You could open your eyes now.
Yeah, you can open your eyes now.
There we go. We'll put it right there.
There it is right there. There's the website, meetaceandrich.com. That's meetaceandrich.com. Book your call, watch the quick video, listen to our audio message. It's pretty cool what we say there, and you can actually check that out. And that was my idea to set that up too.
Nice.
You know, because you're always seeing videos all the time, but how about a little audio message, right?
Create some imagination.
Create some imagination, you know?
Exactly.
There's really good stuff here, all right, guys? So definitely do that. And I guess we could take some questions.
No, I want to go a little further.
You want to go further?
I want to go a little further, guys. I
All
want
right,
to give you guys
hang
some
down
more.
a little bit. Hang around a little bit.
Let's give you some more. I want to give you more examples of what you can do with some visualizations when you're first getting started and you're brand new with affiliate marketing. Okay. Okay. Example number one. What you can do is, as someone new, is just visualize creating your first post on Facebook, or your first video on YouTube, or
Right.
your first video on Facebook as well, or maybe your first TikTok video, right? And you haven't done it yet. Just visualize what that will look like, okay? And how you would gain your first 10 followers online. Remember, you have no following, okay?
Yeah.
Friends and families don't count.
No.
Okay? We're talking about being targeted here. So I want you to imagine getting your first 10,000 real followers. 10 followers. Pretty soon it'll be 10,000. Okay? Just imagine that for a second, okay? And then example two, I want you to picture how your product, with what we're talking about AI, okay, contacting your prospects for you, all right? Visualize that and seeing how the AI is helping you make sales, but also how the owner of the company can help you make sales as well. And what would that feel like? Okay, remember I said earlier? What would that feel like? Connect to your emotional state as you're under and you have this visualization going on. What would that feel like when you see those sales start coming in? Okay? Very important. And then one more is, what would it feel like as you share, okay, your freedom lifestyle business that's income driven? Okay? I want you to really think, I want you to really dive in deep. I want you to take it by the reins and hold on to it and really feel that, right? That will, it fuels your freedom journey, right? You're already there. You're not there yet, but you're already there here, okay? And don't lose that, because that's what's going to guide you to what you're looking for.
Yes.
All right, and it'll get you there as long as you hold on to it. Doesn't matter what's going on physically. Doesn't matter. What matters is what you got going on here. Believe it. All right? Believe it, and you will achieve it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at the comments, and then, guys, drop any questions that you'd like to ask us here about tonight's topic. Let's see here. Rashida says they do it all. Let me see here. Rashida says that's what you call done for you. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the way it should be, right? Everybody should be working together to help everyone, because when everyone works together, everyone wins. Okay? That's the way I love business models like that. I really
Michelle
do.
drops a fire emoji. 2 fire emojis from Michelle. Yes, I see the fire emojis. Alistair dropped fire emoji. Fran says, seeing pictures in the clouds. I still do that when I'm lying at the beach.
Oh, matter of fact, do some visualizations at the beach.
Yes.
That would be good. Now, people say, okay, well, I can do the visualization strategies you guys are talking about, But don't get overwhelmed, because a lot of people start to get overwhelmed. They think about too many things at once.
They do.
You know, just focus on like one task at a time. Okay, what we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yep.
But just focus on just one task, not everything. Okay, and stay consistent, because daily visualization builds momentum. All right, if you do this daily, it will build momentum, and it's good for your mental health as well.
Alistair says, you know, I had a conversation with this David AI and I was very impressed.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
You know, and trust the system, okay? Just, again, put your AI and the owner just supporting you, working with you in your business. If you have a business, great. Let's help you build that business. If you don't have a business, let's help you start a business off at the right foot.
Francis says, I see all these $100 bills going down the funnel and coming out at the end in the bank.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Definitely, yes. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let us know right there in the chat. We're watching here, we're live. And if there's no questions, we could wrap it up.
Okay, all right. Well, then we'll wrap it up if there's no questions.
Yeah, I don't see any questions. I see more comments than anything. That's
Awesome.
great. We love comments.
I guess we give them a lot.
We sure did. And if you're watching the replay, definitely you can still ask us questions, tag us up, use the link there, book a call, you know, do the visualization. Say that 10 times. Visualization.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely, if you had a struggle, you know, you want to sit with us, have a conversation, you know, even share your opportunity with us and, you know, ask us for our opinion to take a look at it. We'll give you an honest opinion and not biased at all to let you know if you are on the right track or if you're just
Spinning
struggling.
wheels. Yeah, pretty
Spinning
much.
wheels.
We'll leave you with this, guys, okay? Start small. Again, visualize one piece of content at a time
Right.
when we're doing application process, right? When we're,
Right.
you know, we're applying in our business, okay?
Absolutely.
And then also visualize the engagement, right? Remember when I didn't have any leads? I kept, you know, seeing the leads
Yes.
in my mind's eye every single day, right?
Absolutely.
Until it became so believable
Yeah.
that it actually started happening.
Yes.
And then I want you to do this. I want you to dream big. I don't want you to dream small anymore. I want you to expand your mind and think about being limitless. Okay?
I'll leave you with one tip. There's something you need to understand about visualization. You know, affirmations are great when you're looking in the mirror and you're constantly rehearsing and you're saying it, but if you don't believe in what you're saying, it's not going to work.
That's why you have to repeat this every day. All right? Like the story with the leads.
Yes.
And the first day, it just
Yes.
wasn't believable for me.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that do affirmations and they affirm and they say I am, but it's not getting into their, you know,
Well, they're not connecting.
subconscious mind.
Well, because they're not really connecting
Yeah.
to the visualization technique on another level
Right.
with connecting to the emotional state and really feeling what it feels like. It's good to visualize, but just
Right.
don't visualize. Connect to your emotion. What does that feel like?
Right.
All right, it can teach you a lot.
Yep, definitely so. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And Francis says, if people don't go with this, they are crazy.
Absolutely.
She knows. All right, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us and watching Ace and Rich Live on a Friday. Tune in next time. We're going to be here same time, same bat channel. My name is Ace Guzman,
And my name is Rich Guzman.
and we'll see you guys on the next Ace and Rich Live.
This one's a wrap.
Take care, and happy Mother's Day to all your moms out there.
Happy Mother's Day.